Here you can see what used to be two different Kalanchoe Lavender Scallops plants, and about 2.5, 3 months ago, I pruned them. So this is one of them in the original pot, and I just chopped off the top and I put it in here. These two were in the same pot. It was almost identical to this one. I decided to replant these and see how it would grow. Now, I know from experience that leaves or stems, sorry, that don't have any leaves on them can grow new plants. As you're seeing here, there's new babies that have grown off of this. However, without a leaf attached to the plant to absorb some of that sunlight and get some nutrients for the plant, it's a lot harder for it to put off new babies. So in this one, I wanted to experiment and see if I left it in the same pot, would it grow versus if I repotted it. When you repot succulents, it causes them some stress. Sometimes that stress will lead to new growth because the plant wants to survive. Other times, it's just too much stress for the plant and nothing happens. And in the case of these two, I can't say for sure because in this one, we left it as is and this stem didn't grow anything. But I'm pretty confident that these just had too hard of a time between being transplanted and pruned and not having any leaves to absorb that sunlight. And then these cuttings are doing really well, and you can actually see there's a little baby growing off one of the leaves back there. But I want to show you the progress of this one over time just to give you a rough idea of how long this process took. So I bought the plant back in 2021, which you can see here, and then a little over almost 2 years later, I went ahead and I pruned it. So like 18 months later, I pruned it, cut off the top, as you can see here, and then within a little over a month, almost 2 months, this one started to grow, and then this is about 4 to 6 weeks after this picture is taken. So you can see it's grown quite a bit. It has a lot of really beautiful variegation, which is a great sign that this plant is healthy, that it's getting enough light. So I love having the photo history of this so I can see the progress of it over time. And it turned out just to be a really fun experiment to see what would happen. So now I have all of these cuttings that have rooted really well and are continuing to grow. You can see they have lost a lot of that variegation, and part of that is because they weren't getting enough light. So I do have them in an area now where they're gonna get more light. These are doing really well, and then these two I'm going to go ahead and just compost them. I'll toss these stems in there and then reuse the soil for something different. But I wanted to give you an example of what can happen when you prune your succulents. A lot of people get really stressed when it comes to pruning succulents. They feel like it's bad for the plant. It's really not. It happens in nature all the time, right? Things get knocked over and branches fall off. But in this case, these plants are doing so much better than they were on this really tall, wavy stem that wasn't very strong. They likely would have broken over time on their own. So this way I have the plant growing nice and compact again. It has a really great root system in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and toss these and keep this one and see how it grows. There's a slight chance we'll get some more babies on this one. I kind of doubt it, but I'm not gonna mess this up because I do wanna let this one just keep growing. I don't wanna disturb it. So we will see what happens.